After doing a lot of research and seeing that pedalboards are not cheap, I decided to make my own. And this is how it turned out. I was able to make this from stuff that you can find at pretty much any hardware store, and anything you see in this video you can change to meet your needs, obviously. So to get into the materials, I used a 1x3x4 foot piece and a 1x3x6 foot piece, 7 1x2x4 foot pieces, some velcro, wood glue, 1 1/4 inch screws, 1 1/2 inch screws, a Cabernet wood stain, you can use whatever color you want, a gloss coat for after the staining, and I used some sandpaper as well. I made all my cuts using a miter saw, but you can use a handsaw if that works for you. I marked up all my wood, put some tape on the cut lines to prevent additional splintering. You don't have to do that, but it's optional. And I did end up with a lot of excess wood, but that ended up being in my favor because I did make a few mistakes when cutting. All the materials needed for this build will also be in the description for the video. So once all the cuts are made, you should end up with 5 1x2x38.5 inch pieces, a 1x3x40 inch piece, 2 1x3x16.5 inch pieces, 3 1x2x16.5 inch pieces, and lastly 2 1x2x5 inch pieces. This is everything you should have laid out. And after all the cuts, I started to sand. I used a rougher sandpaper to start off and then smoother one to finish it with. After sanding, I just wiped it down with a paper towel just to make sure I got all the dust off to prep for the staining process. Once your wood is all sanded up, you can get your stain. I just used an old rag to apply the stain and just made sure a nice thick coat was on each piece. And again, you can use whatever stain color you want. You don't even have to stain it if you want to cut down on the price, but I thought it looked nice. It's just an easy way to make your wood look much better than when you buy it. So once the wood was all stained, I set it outside to dry. I then decided to paint my board to give it its own unique look, and this is how it ended up turning out. I just used acrylic paint and did an acrylic pour with it, and I think it turned out really well. Next up is assembling the board. Get your 1 1/4 inch screws, wood glue, and a 1x3x16.5 inch piece and a 1x2x16.5 inch piece, and you'll be gluing it together at first. Just make sure it's nice and aligned with the bottom when you put the 1x2 on top of the 1x3. Do the same with another 1x2 and your other remaining 1x3. Just make sure the glue is evenly spread, stick on the piece. And then made some pilot holes. The back pilot hole is 3.5 inches from the edge and the front pilot hole is 2.5 inches from the edge. I then put in my 1 1/4 inch screws. do it to your other one as well. I then got the 1.5 inch screws and started putting the lateral pieces together. Now the two you just made are the sides, and make your pilot holes. Now this first one I put all the way to the edge of the front of the side pieces to sit flush with the front. The lateral piece you see on the far left is just to make sure the spacing is kept proper. What you see me doing there is rubbing the nail or the screw in soap, and that's to ensure that it goes in smoothly. The space between each lateral piece that I'm screwing in is 2 inches. There should be a 2-inch space in between each one. I then took the little legs and I glued them to the back piece, which is the 1x3 by 40 inch, and I did them about 5 inches from the end. Let them dry for a little bit, and then I went in, made some pilot holes, and stuck in the screws, again using soap. Then I screwed the back plate on. I then took some paint and covered up the screws. That way it blended in with the paint job a little better. I then took the last piece of wood, the 1x2 by 16.5 inch piece, and put it right in the middle for support on the back side. And that's it for the wood assembly. I then took my clear coat and I did 3 coats on the front and back. Once you're done, you can get your velcro and start applying the velcro. I just used, I believe, inch wide velcro, and I just put it in the middle as best I can. I use the soft side for the board and the more prickly side for my pedals. And once you're done, this is what it should look like. Now all you have to do is get your pedals and start putting them on your board. And again, you can make the board smaller, larger, tweak the measurements, add more rows. This is just a general template to use. And that's it. Thank you for watching.